All right, let's dive into a really fascinating story today. We're going to break down how one organization, SNS, took a feeling that we all know, frustration, and actually engineered it into a powerful system for creating new ideas over and over again.
You know that feeling, right? When you're looking at a system or a process at work or really anywhere, and you just think to yourself, this is so broken, it makes zero sense.
Well, for the team at SNS, that exact thought wasn't just a fleeting complaint. Nope. For them, it was a starting gun. It was the spark that kicked off a complete reinvention of how they did, well, everything.
So this is the moment where that feeling of "this is broken" goes from just being an annoyance to becoming a full-blown mission. They decided they had to find a smarter, more logical way to tackle their biggest challenges.
And that mission kicked off a serious hunt. They weren't looking for a quick fix or a band-aid solution. They were looking for a blueprint, a repeatable, logical system they could use for pretty much any problem that came their way.
So, when you're looking for the best innovation blueprint in the world, where do you go? You go to the masters. You go to the folks who basically wrote the book on the stuff, Stanford's legendary D-School, and the iconic design firm IDEO.
And the answer they found was something called design thinking. Now, I know what you might be thinking, another corporate buzzword, right? But for SNS, this was the missing piece of the entire puzzle. It gave them a repeatable, human-focused way to literally build the common sense they felt was missing.
But look, having a blueprint is one thing. A blueprint is just an idea on paper. It doesn't build the house. SNS knew they had to build an entire culture around this new way of thinking, an ecosystem that would help it grow and thrive.
The foundation for that culture was actually pretty simple. They called it the 3 Ps. First up, purpose. You need a super clear why everyone can rally behind. Second, you need a consistent process to execute that purpose. That's their design thinking framework. And of course, none of that works without the right people.
So what do they mean by the right people? It's not just a vague idea. They defined it as the sweet spot where 3 things overlap. It starts with attitude. You've got to be curious and you've got to be accountable. Then you layer on skills, like solid logic and business sense. And finally, you have deep technical knowledge. For them, the magic happens right in the middle of all 3.
With that foundation in place, they built these 5 pillars to support everyone's growth. And you can see how they all connect and feed into each other. It starts inside with learning and creativity, which of course fuels career development, and that then radiates outward to social responsibility and key industry partnerships. It's a whole cycle.
And let's just zoom in on learning for a second, because this is so important. They aren't talking about abstract theories here. This is all about hands-on practical skills, mastering the exact tools and getting the specific certifications that companies are hiring for right now, like Databricks, AWS, you name it. The goal is simple. Make sure people can add real value from the moment they start.
Okay, so you have this big, complex system. How do you actually manage it? Well, they use proven, powerful tools. They set their huge, ambitious targets using OKRs, objectives, and key results. Then they break those down into concrete steps with SMART goals. And to keep things moving and keep people motivated, they sprinkle in a bit of gamification.
So, at this point, they've got this incredible, human-centered innovation engine humming along beautifully. The natural next question is, what's next? How do you make it even better? Well, you add a supercharger.
And that supercharger is AI. But, and this is the critical part, their view of AI isn't about replacing people, it's about giving them jet fuel. AI is seen as an accelerator, something to amplify and speed up every part of the human-led system they already worked so hard to build. So, what does that jet fuel look like in real life? Well, imagine an AI that builds a totally personalized career roadmap just for you. Or one that can instantly generate custom practice tests and study guides based on what you need to learn. They're even using AI to pull in real-world problems from top-tier startup incubators like Y Combinator, so their teams are tackling the most current challenges out there.
Okay, so we've got the culture, the process, the people, and the AI supercharger all working together. But all this effort, all these moving pieces, they're all pointing toward one single, unbelievably audacious goal.
You see, the ultimate vision is so much bigger than just teaching new skills. It's about rewiring how people think. The goal is to install design thinking as the core operating system for how their people see the world. It's about creating an entrepreneurial mindset that sees every single problem as an opportunity in disguise.
Which brings us to the big question, right? All of this work, this incredible, detailed system, what is the end game? What is it all for?
Their entire vision, the whole point of this massive undertaking, can be boiled down to a single number, and it's a big one.
Here it is, the mission: to use this entire system to launch 1,000 new AI startups in just 10 years. I mean, just think about that for a second. This isn't just a training program, it is a full-scale startup factory.
This slide really sums up the entire journey perfectly. They started with that common feeling of frustration, of having no real process, of just winging it with random ideas. And they ended up with a purpose-driven system amplified by AI and designed from the ground up for excellence. It's a total transformation.
When you take a step back, what the SNS story really gives us is a blueprint. It's a powerful example of how you can systematically take frustration, replace it with a solid framework, and then pour jet fuel on it with technology.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, a question to take with you. What's that one huge, audacious goal in your world, in your job, in your life, that's maybe just one good system away from becoming a reality?